we're going to review what a ratio is. This is lesson 2.1 from chapter 2. A ratio compares quantities with the same units. So we're going to look at a group of objects. In this case, it's a group of circles. We have green circles and red circles. The question is asking, what is the ratio of green circles to red circles? So we'll start off by counting the green circles. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green circles. So our first number is 6. Put a 2 in between so we can show that we're comparing them. And the second one is the red circles, which we have 4 of. Both these numbers are divisible by 2 because they're both even numbers. So we can go ahead and we can reduce this ratio by dividing them both by 2. 6 divided by 2, we get 3. 4 divided by 2, we get 2. So we get a ratio of 3 to 2. Now there's 3 different ways that we can write ratios. We can use words and actually write them out. 3 to 2. Could use the colon sign of putting the numbers with the dot dot, 3 to 2. And like before, we can actually just write the word 2. One type of ratio is a part-to-part ratio. It's when different parts of a group are being compared to each other. So in this case, we have blue rectangles and green rectangles. In total, we have 2 blue rectangles to 3 green rectangles. So it shows us a comparison of the 2 different types of rectangles. The other type of ratio that we have is a part-to-whole ratio, where a part of the group is being compared to the whole group. So if we look, our question is asking for blue rectangles, there are 2 of, to the total number of rectangles, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a 2 to 5 ratio. Now if we have a part to whole ratio, we can use a fraction. To show what your ratio is, because you have essentially 2 blue rectangles out of the total number of rectangles. Okay, if we divide this in our calculators, 2 divided by 5, we can change it into a decimal, which is 0.4. If we take our decimal and we times it by 100, we can get it as a percent. And we see that we get 40%. So if we go back to look at the rectangles, we see that 40% of all the rectangles are blue. We can only make the fraction, the decimal, and the percent if we have a part-to-whole ratio. And the last type of ratio is a 3-term ratio, which compares 3 quantities with the same units. So if we see in this ratio, we have 3 different numbers being compared to one another. An example of this would be if the ratio of length, width, and height is 4 to 2 to 3, and the actual length is 16, what is the width and the height? So if we rewrite our ratio 4 to 2 to 3, remembering that this is length, this is width, and this is height, we put our actual length underneath, which is 16, and we need to try to figure out what our other numbers are. Well, we look, what did I do to 4 to get to 16? Well, I times that by 4. So I just have to do that to the other quantities. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. So my actual width is equal to 8, and my actual height is equal to 12. These are all the different types of ratios that you will need to know for your chapter exam.